The season of Cal Raleigh continues. Colby, hit it.
You are Locked On Mariners, your daily Seattle Mariners podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Ahoy, sailors. It is Wednesday, September 17th, 2025. This is Tony Gonzalez and Colby Patnode for the Locked On Mariners podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. This episode is brought to you by Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, and use the promo code LOCKEDONMLB. That's LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. And as always, if you want to hear from me and Colby even more and help support the show, you can check out our Patreon. All you have to do to check that out is click the link in the description of this episode. On the show today, Cal Raleigh makes history, but Dom Canzone outshines him last night. We'll talk about both of those guys and get you set for tonight for both the Mariners game and what's happening on the out-of-town scoreboard. The Mariners last night steamroll the Kansas City Royals 12-5 to extend their win streak into double-digit territory. 10 wins in a row for the M's. They have also lowered their magic number to clinch a postseason berth to 8. We will talk more about that a little later on in the show, but they do so on the back of a huge offensive night led by Cal Raleigh and Dominic Canzone, who combined to hit 5 home runs in this one. Cal with his 55th and 56th bombs of the year. He surpasses Mickey Mantle finally for the most home runs in a single season by a switch hitter and ties Ken Griffey Jr. for the most home runs in a single season in Seattle Mariners history. He also becomes the 11th player in Major League history to have at least 10 multi-home run games in a single season. The other names on this list, listen to this, Colby. Hank Greenberg, Sammy Sosa, Aaron Judge, Jimmy Fox, Ralph Kiner, Mark McGwire, Barry Bonds, Sammy Sosa again, Alex Rodriguez, Albert Pujols, and Giancarlo Stanton.
So decent company.
Yeah. Pretty solid players. Yeah. Just yet another milestone for a very special dude having a very special year.
Yeah. I mean, he's got a shot at 60, which is, incredibly rarefied air. That's one of the shortest, alumni groups in Major League history. It's Maris, it's Ruth, it's Sosa and McGwire, and it's Bonds. Like it really is something nuts to get 60. So we'll see if he can get there. But yeah, right now he's having one of the best catcher seasons of all time. If you only want to look at, home runs, it's the best. But by WAR, it's, I believe, 5th right now. So any way you want to slice it, it is an elite season. You're never going to see it again from Cal Raleigh, unfortunately. But it is. You're never going to see it again from Cal Raleigh. This is the career year. This is the peak. So you don't want to waste it. And last night the Mariners did not. He continues to not let Aaron Judge run away with the MVP award, although I still think Judge will win it. But we'll see where things stand at the end of the year. But yeah, he continues to
storylines versus sheer production. It's a very interesting conversation.
Right. Plus the Yankees are stumbling a little bit here. The Mariners are surging a little bit here. We'll see how, that all factors in and whatnot. But Cal's been incredible this year. It's almost boring to talk about because it's just like we've said it all. We've used all the superlatives. We've used all the adjectives. Like it's just Cal's great. What else is there to say? I really don't know. And yeah, he's had his struggles this year. He struggled for a couple weeks at a time, and then he'll just hit 7 home runs in 10 days. And you're like, oh, well, there you go. So
it's almost like really easy to take it for granted and you don't want to because of how special it is and how likely it is that we're never going to see this from him or any Mariner ever again.
It took almost 30 years to see another Mariner get to 50.
Yeah.
And Cal's at 56.
Yeah.
With 11 to go. So, it really is something. Keep in mind, how many 60 home run seasons have there been? Ruth, Maris, Judge, Sosa, McGwire, Bonds. 6 dudes have done it. A-Rod never hit 60. Ohtani hasn't hit 60 yet.
Yeah.
Griffey never hit 60. Like Jimmy Fox never hit 60. Just Hank Aaron never hit 50. And so it really is just wild to think about, and it's awesome to see, and hopefully the Mariners don't waste it. And right now that magic number is 8, so they're on track not to. Things are looking good in that regard, but yeah, you're kind of running out of. You're almost to the point now where I don't want to say it's boring, but it's kind of becoming like less newsworthy, just because he's hit so many. So yeah, it's don't be bored, don't be complacent, just marvel at how great it is, and you'll probably be talking about this season for decades to come. So it really is a special year for Cal, but it is also, not going to lie, from a content standpoint, pretty boring for me because like what else is there to say? What can we say that hasn't already been said?
He's just so good. He's so good.
I mean, yeah, there's literally nothing to add to the conversation here. Cal Raleigh is having one of the best seasons we've ever seen, regardless of position. And he happens to be doing it as a pretty good catcher for a team that is trying to win its first division title in 24 years.
Yeah.
So, again, enjoy it because it's never going to happen again. But enjoy the ride, and who knows, set your sight on 63. Why not? 7 home runs in 11 games. I mean, sure. Why not?
I mean, we were asked a few weeks ago, like, where did we think he was going to wind up? And we said 55. No, he's at 56 with 11 games to go. So
that was looking pretty good until he homered 3 times in the last 2 games. So yeah, these things come in bunches too. So it really is something special that you're watching, but I don't know how much more we can add to the conversation. He's great. He's elite. And did you guys know he's actually a pretty chill dude too? Like, oh, let me tell you about stories off the field of Cal. Like, it's all been said. Yeah.
I tweeted this last night. I don't know if some folks still feel this way, but even only a couple months ago, I'd hear stuff like Cal's on his way to being the best catcher in Mariners history. Dude, he's not on his way, and he hasn't been on his way for a while. He is objectively the best catcher in Mariners history, and I think that was the case before the season even started. And wins above replacement backs me up on that. Now, obviously, F4 B WAR, whatever, it's not the be all end all, but when you look at impact both locally and nationally, he's a platinum glove winner. He's at least going to be an MVP runner-up. He's broken record after record after record. He's finding himself in the company of guys like Mickey Mantle and Mike Piazza and King Griffey Jr., and he has one of the most iconic hits in franchise history. Dan Wilson's career, frankly, pales in comparison to that. And, respect where it's due to Dan, obviously. Like, he had the longevity. He was a leader on some of the greatest teams in franchise history. And he had some great defensive seasons. But, like, dude, in his wildest dreams, Dan Wilson could never do the things Cal is doing with the bat. But Cal, on the other hand, brings all the things that Dan brought to the table on top of being, a historic level hitter. And, if you want to say Mike Zunino was better than Dan Wilson, not as important to the organization as Dan, but just a better player, I agree with you.
Yeah.
And the numbers back that up. And Zunino was also a great defender. And, look, again, wins above replacement isn't the gospel, but, listen to this. Top 5 Mariners position players of all time in terms of F4. It's Griffey, it's Edgar, it's Ichiro, it's A-Rod, it's Kyle Seager in that order, as to be expected. Number 6 is Jay Buhner. Right behind him, and I mean literally right behind him, is Cal Raleigh. Cal has 0.1 fewer F4 than Jay Buhner after last night, despite playing more than 800 fewer games than Jay did in a Mariners uniform. He is going to wrap up his 4th full season as a major leaguer as the 6th most valuable position player in the history of the franchise. And he's going to be top 10 overall with pitchers included. Cal could retire today and go down as one of the greatest players to ever wear a Seattle Mariners uniform. Now, I'm not going to say like we're on a trajectory to Cooperstown because it's so hard for catchers to get in, especially, when they debut in their mid-20s like Cal did. But we're watching a guy that will be a Mariners Hall of Famer, and he may very well wind up getting a statue outside of the stadium one day.
Not if he retires after this year. The Mariners have a very strict 5-year minimum,
Right.
which is such a great idea. Because as we know, Mike Cameron and Nelson Cruz.
Well,
don't need to be
technically,
Mariner
Cal has played 5 years.
Okay, yeah, he did get that little cup of coffee. Didn't go well, but yeah. So
which makes his story all the more impressive, right? When you look back at the way that his career started and having to go back to to Tacoma and then coming back, and then at the end of that year he hits the drought ender and all that, and that's where really the legend began.
Right, there were draft experts, quote unquote, who didn't think Cal could catch. They thought he was too, let's say, doughy, too wide to be athletic enough to catch at the big league level. There were scouts who were like, he should give up hitting left-handed because the swing's too long, too many strikeouts, or he should give up hitting right-handed because the swing is too straight. He's never going to generate enough power. He should focus on being a left-handed hitting first baseman who just tries to hit 40 home runs. That's his only path to the big leagues. He can't catch. These are real things that were said when the Mariners took him in the 3rd round. And not only has he proven that he can catch, he's a Platinum Glove winner behind the dish. Earned it, too. It wasn't a courtesy award. And he also happens to be one of the best hitters in baseball from the right side this year. Yeah. So, yeah, he's answered all the questions. He's, a product of the Mariners player development. He's kind of the poster child of the Mariners player development right now. And so, yeah, he's a Mariner through and through, and he chose to be here. Yeah. He made that commitment, which makes it all that much more sweet. And it probably is a big part of the reason why the fan base is fiercely loyal and fiercely defending Cal against the haters of Yankees who continue to try to make their Judge MVP case by belittling what Cal Raleigh has accomplished, which is always the sign of a great argument.
Yeah.
So whatever.
It's so funny. I brought this up when I talked to Stacey Joe Ross a couple months ago. Like, it's so funny looking back at a conversation he had with, I think it was Brock and Salk when they were down there at spring training. And they were like, you just won the Platinum Glove. You just broke Mike Piazza's home run record. All that, like, where do you go from here? And he's like, yeah, I got a lot of stuff to improve upon. And I'm like, I listened to that and went, yeah, okay, dude.
Players speak.
Yeah, but I mean, he has answered every single question. He started to hit for more average. He's gotten on base more. He's hit way better from the right side and tapped into more pop from the right side. He's basically been a complete player this year.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so let's talk about the actual star of last night, though. Dominic Canzone. Go over his night and his season as a whole in just a moment. But first, a reminder, this episode of the Locked On Mariners podcast is brought to you by PrizePicks. This episode of Locked On Mariners is brought to you by PrizePicks, the daily fantasy app where making the right call can actually pay off. You and I make decisions every day, but on PrizePicks, being right means cashing in. With football back, PrizePicks is the simplest and fastest way to get in on the action. Just pick more or less on 2 to 6 player projections, and you can turn your takes into real prizes, all in less than 60 seconds. It's quick, easy, and a great way to follow along with football. Download the PrizePicks app today and use the promo code LOCKEDONMLB to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's promo code LOCKEDONMLB for $50 in lineups after your first $5 play. PrizePicks, it's good to be right. And you're listening to the Locked On Mariners podcast. For instant reactions following every Mariners game, be sure to tune in to the Mariners postcast with Anderson Hurst and Christopher Crawford, available on both the Locked On Mariners YouTube and podcast feeds. So obviously Cal broke Mickey Mantle's record and tied Ken Griffey Jr.'s record last night. But the player of the game, the star for the Mariners last night, was Dominic Canzone, who went 5 for 5 with 3 bombs, including an insurance bomb there in the ninth inning to make it 12-5 Mariners after the Royals started to look like they were doing the thing that I was very terrified of happening down at Kauffman Stadium.
They still have 2 games to do it.
Yeah, but Canzone put those worries to the side for me at the very least here in game 1.
Really?
For the most part.
There wasn't a part of you that was like,
I mean, there was still a part of me.
Better score some more.
That was the most stressful 10-1 game I've ever watched in my entire life.
Keep in mind, the Mariners have blown a 7-run lead or greater each of the last 3 years they went down there. Now, they did win one of those games.
Yeah.
Still. So it doesn't seem like it's that bad, but 3 years in a row, they've gone to Kansas City. They've been up at least 7 runs, and they have trailed the game at some point that they once led by 7. 3 years in a row.
I've seen a worse Royals team than this one score 11 runs in 1 inning down there.
Yeah.
Against the Mariners. So, yeah.
Yeah.
I feel justified to be terrified at all times watching these games. I'll just say
it was weird to do the role reversal thing yesterday.
Yeah, I was by far the pessimist. I was Colby texting Colby.
Yeah, I was like, oh, this is going a little too far. But
every time a base hit happened. Yeah.
When they brought in Spire, I was like, I can't believe they're really going to have to use Munoz to win this game, and like they absolutely should. They have to win.
By the way, thank you, Dan Wilson, for saying enough is enough with Luke Jackson and bringing in Gabe Spire to face Vinny Pasquantino. Thank you.
I'd say probably a hit or two late, but I guess you don't want Bobby Witt facing a lefty, but
Caleb Ferguson got him out.
Yeah, Luke Jackson, he was the unsung hero of the homestand. Ooh.
Yeah, yikes.
That well may have run dry already, but we'll see. Just one bad outing.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah.
But that was rough.
But yeah, Dominic Canzone, 5 for 5. He had a great day on Sunday as well. Mm-hmm. Picks up right where he left off. He's the second Mariner ever to hit 3 bombs while collecting 5 hits in a single game. Canzone is now slashing 304, 363, 491 with a 143 WRC plus. He is worth 1.3 F4, striking out just 21.1% of the time, walking 7.8% of the time, or 7.6% of the time rather. He hit his 8th, 9th, and 10th home runs of the year last night. Drove in his 25th, 26th, 27th, and 28th RBI. And this is now in 237 plate appearances, which isn't, it's a small sample size still relative, but it's not a super small sample size anymore.
It's a little bit less than half a season.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I see where you're going with this. Ride the hot hand right now. Sure.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not comfortable penciling Dom Canzone into my opening day lineup of 2026 at all. Not that he hasn't earned the opportunity. I think it's pretty clear he's passed Raleigh on the depth charts. Unfortunately, Luke's on again, off again season.
Well, and Canzone, which is crazy to say, is just straight up a more viable option against lefties. One of his home runs last night came against a lefty. He also had a single against a lefty.
All right, we'll see if he's in the lineup tonight. Reagan's on the bump. They don't need to have him out there because they have Robles back. So we'll see if they put him out there or not. But
Dom Canzone against lefties this year. How many plate appearances is this? 61. Not a lot, but whatever. It's a sample we have. He right now is slashing 288, 377, 365. So he's not slugging against them, but 288, 377. That's a 120 WRC plus against lefties. That will play.
Yeah. Canzone might ultimately, be your Jorge Polanco replacement. And I mean that as the primary DH. Because Polo, if you just look at his slash line, that's a $20 million a year player. And the Mariners kind of only get to have one $20 million a year player. And I mean, really, it's come down to, do you want Gina or do you want Naylor or do you want Polo? That's kind of the option you're at now. And maybe Canzone is the replacement for either one of those guys. Maybe you finally hand him a first base glove and ask him to figure it out. But Yeah, he's been great. He's been one of those players that, nobody expected anything from that came up and contributed and really helped you win a couple ball games. He certainly had, his moments where he's, the newborn giraffe out there flailing at the plate and kind of, taking terrible routes in the outfield and making the leaping catch that was a routine play, but he made it look like it was the best play you've ever seen and all that stuff. Like, he's still Dom Canzone, but he's been much more consistent this year. Even when he's not, popping homers, he's found a way to find hits and do all the little things, draw walks. So yeah, Canzone's having a really good year. And, it's just funny because Ty, you completely gave up on this guy.
I did.
To be fair, a lot of people did. A lot of people were like, yeah, he's 4A player, put him in AAA depth.
Yeah. Whatever. I mean, like he just turned 28 in August. I was looking at him like, okay, he's 27 years old. He's never been like a top prospect or anything. I know that they really like him, but there isn't like any sort of like pedigree to go off of here or anything like that. He just seems like, he seems like a quad A player. Like, I'm just kind of like, I kind of put him in the same bucket as like Cade Marlowe and those guys, admittedly. I was very wrong to do so.
Sure. The Mariners thought so too, though. I mean, Victor Robles went out for essentially the season in early April.
Yeah. And
the Mariners never considered for 1 second giving Canzone any kind of run in right field. Not for 1 second did they consider that. They paid Leody Taveras $3 million. That's how little they trusted Dom Canzone. By the way, guys, you may not know this. Taveras still in the organization. Still in Tacoma. I forgot he existed, didn't you? So, yeah, they didn't trust Canzone either. And then they called him up in, early July for that Arizona series just because they needed to. They're kind of out of options. Hits the big grand slam. It just, really been a consistent contributor despite less than consistent playing time. So, it's cool to see. And sometimes these things just happen. So there is a possibility that Dom Canzone is probably not this good, but it's the most recent example I can think of. Maybe he's Brent Rooker, that, late 20s guy who kind of bounces around, never really hits, makes one little adjustment and bang, he's a viable big leaguer. Man, if he was Brent Rooker, that'd be great. I love Brent Rooker.
I mean, the slash line is kind of Brent Rooker-esque right now.
Sure. I mean, he needs to do it over the course of a full season. And when you're trying to compete for, playoff in the World Series, it's kind of tough to trust a guy who's never done it before for a full season, especially when you're probably going to be doing that with Cole Young and you're probably going to be doing that with Ben Williamson and maybe even Colt Emerson, who knows? But yeah, Canzone's been great. And it's the power kind of went away for a while. He was just kind of slapping singles for a couple of weeks. And then on Sunday, he had the double that should have been a home run. I don't know how that didn't get out to left center field. Well, it didn't get out to left center field because it's T-Mobile Park. And then yesterday, 3 bombs, each more impressive than the last. So yeah, Canzone's the power stroke is back and just in time. So hopefully he can stay hot through the rest of this year and go into the playoffs. And he's probably in your lineup for game 1 of, whatever playoff series or whatever. We'll see if he's in the lineup tonight, though.
So let's switch gears here. Let's talk about what's coming up tonight. Mariners versus Royals game 2, and a lot of stuff happening on the out-of-town scoreboard as well. Go over that in just a moment. But first, a reminder, this episode of the Locked On Mariners podcast is brought to you by Monarch Money and Gametime. Ever check your bank account and wonder, where did all my money go? Between dining out, online shopping, and entertainment, it's easy to lose track. That's where Monarch Money comes in, your personal CFO giving you full visibility and control over your finances. Monarch Money isn't just a budgeting app. It's a complete financial command center. You can track all your accounts, investments, and spending in one place, so you stop just managing your money and start building wealth. Instead of juggling multiple apps, you can use Monarch to check your finances, track spending, and even plan long-term goals. Managing money with your partner is smoother than ever. You can track shared and personal accounts, set goals, and stay on the same page without the stress. Take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Use promo code LOCKEDONMLB at monarchmoney.com monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. That's monarchmoney.com, promo code LOCKEDONMLB for half off your first year. There's nothing like catching a baseball game live. The energy, the crowd, the chance to see your team in person, but actually getting tickets, that's the tough part. Queues, login screens, surprise fees. Ugh, it takes all the fun out of it. That's why I use Gametime, the app that gives the advantage back to the fans. Gametime is fast, easy, and backed by the Gametime guarantee. You'll always get 100% authentic tickets delivered on time and at the best price. Plus, all fees are included, so the price you see is the price you get. Download the Gametime app, create an account, and use the promo code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, that's promo code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off. Swipe, tap, ticket, go. Download Gametime today. And you're listening to the Locked On Mariners podcast. So the Mariners magic number is down to 8 with the win last night. The Guardians beat the Tigers, however. So that's a little bit bad news, a little bit good news, because on one hand, you didn't lower the magic number to 7, but you also gained a game on the Detroit Tigers. Now you're only 2 back, and you only have to tie them, by the way, in order to get that number 2 seed. So you are a true 2 games back of the Detroit Tigers, who are going through it right now. So we'll see. The Astros outlasted the Rangers last night 6-5. They were up 6-1. Rangers made it pretty interesting there, even in the 9th inning with 2 outs. Yeah. But the Astros barely came away with that one. Yordan Alvarez, they're trying to be mum on that injury right now. I assume that's a little bit of gamesmanship when it comes to the upcoming series with the Mariners from them.
Because the Mariners aren't quite sure how they might attack Yordan Alvarez after only seeing him, 100 times over the last 6 years.
I know it's dumb, but it's the only thing that makes sense to me why they're acting so weird about it.
Kind of rude about it too, to be honest.
Yeah. Joe Espada's quote yesterday was something. Now I don't know the full context of that, but that was something. Anyway, so yeah, it looks like that's pretty. It's been described as a significant ankle injury.
Yes.
Yeah.
I did see somebody, I don't remember who, said like they think he can be back for the playoffs.
Yeah, I think it was Nightingale.
Yeah, I think so now.
Which it's Nightingale, but
yeah. So we'll see if that's true or not. But yeah, either way, the Astros win. Tonight would be a good night for the Rangers to win.
Yeah, the Rangers are pretty much done at this point. I mean, you're technically 5.5 with the tiebreaker over them.
You are their tragic number, whereas the
magic number. Yeah.
What your magic number to eliminate Texas as a possibility is 6.
Yeah.
Because the most wins Texas can have now is 89. And if you win 6 more games, you're at 89. You have the tiebreaker. So Texas, while not officially done, they are, again, they have to leapfrog both the Red Sox, or they have to leapfrog the Guardians to be the first team out. And then they have to catch the Astros or the Mariners or possibly the Red Sox on top of it. So, it's not looking great for Texas, but it's not looked great before, and here they are still. So don't want to write them off entirely, but you are 6 wins, or any combination of 6 Mariner wins and Ranger losses away from not being worried about Texas anymore. So tonight would be a good night for them to get one, assuming the Mariners win. The out of town scoreboard.
Even if they beat the Astros and you lose, it's not the worst thing in the world because of how much buffer you have between you and them. Yeah.
Sure, but still, it'd be nice to go into Houston. There's a possibility you can go into Houston with a 2-game lead.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Where if you win one of those, you're leaving Houston in first place.
Yep.
They'd have the tiebreaker, and he'd only be up by a game, but whatever, So anyways, the out of town scoreboard right now is just weird because there's not really terrible results. That's just not possible because either Houston's going to lose or Texas is going to lose.
And then the Guardians Tigers series, it's we're either gaining ground on the 2 seed or potentially gaining ground on the 2 seed. or you're lowering the magic number.
Right. So it's kind of a weird for those two main ones. I mean, obviously you're still rooting for Oakland or the A's to beat Boston.
Yeah, which they did last night. And now you're a full game clear of the Red Sox.
Yep. Mm-hmm. And you're still rooting for the Twins to beat the Yankees just because why not? Why not have as many teams below you as a buffer as possible? And they almost pulled it off. After the Twins destroyed the Yankees for you on Tuesday, they were down 10-0 in the fourth, and they almost Kaufmaned the Yankees. They lost 10-9. Like it was nuts. And so like the Twins they're not dying. Like they're battling.
And by the way, they play the Guardians later this week.
Yeah. So I'd really like the Guardians to lose one here on a day where the Mariners win. That would be ideal. But the out of town scoreboard's a little weird right now because you're rooting for Minnesota and Oakland, the A's, whatever. Full stop. Yeah. There's really no debate about those. But Cleveland and Detroit, Texas and Houston. As long as you win, there's no bad result.
Yeah, I think Texas, Houston at this point, you're rooting for Texas.
I think you're rooting for Texas.
Like definitively, tonight. Like there's no there's not a conversation about it.
This is the last game of the series.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
If they win tonight and you can win one of the next two, you'll go into Houston with a 1-game lead. Yeah.
Yep. So tonight, go Rangers.
Yep.
Whatever your preference is.
I'm saying go Detroit.
Tigers card. I think I'm saying go Cleveland.
Okay, interesting. Again, no wrong answers here, but I don't. What Cleveland's 3.5 back of you? 2.5 back of Boston.
I think it's 3.5 back of the Mariners.
Okay. So, and you have the tiebreaker over them, though.
Yep.
So
then it's
still they're on a heater,
back. Man. I don't know if it's 3.5 back with the tiebreaker or 4.5 back with the tiebreaker.
I think
whatever.
4.5, but whatever. It's still they're on a heater, very similar to you. Like the Guardians have won 9 of their last 10, and they've dropped a game in the standings to the Mariners.
Yeah. So Mariners Royals game 2. Mm-hmm. We'll see if this game gets played either at all or at the very least on time. Sure. So the forecast is actually cleared up a bit, at least on my weather app on my phone. It doesn't say
what that is.
It doesn't say any chance of lightning or rain at all today. Tomorrow, though, it says 60%.
We'll see.
So Cole Reagan's taking the bump tonight for the Royals. He is making his first start in like 3 months after being on the IL with a strained rotator cuff. Last time that he pitched in his rehab, he went 56 pitches. So I assume his pitch count is going to be somewhere in the 65 to 70 range. Again, that's my assumption. I haven't heard anything from Matt Cottrero or anyone from the Royals saying what the plan is there.
Especially since they're basically out of the playoffs now.
Yeah.
There's really no reason to push him further than that.
So like I said yesterday, if you can just balloon his pitch count, there's a pretty good chance you could get him out of there in 3 to 4 innings.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see, and we'll see what he looks like overall. This year before he went on the IL was kind of a weird year. High ERA, below FIP. Still striking out a ton of dudes. So we'll see what he looks like in general. Like no clue what that's really going to look like. And I mean, Michael Wacha has had a great season. But he comes off of the concussion IL yesterday, and the Mariners smoked him right out of the gate. So you never know, especially with the Mariners.
Nope.
And then it's Bryce Miller tonight. Miller's last 3 starts against the Guardians, Braves, and Angels combined, he's given up 8 earned runs over 17 innings. That's 13 hits, 4 home runs, but 17 strikeouts to just 3 walks. If he can just give you a chance to win, that's a success in my mind.
We'll know how well he pitches based on how he handles Pasquantino.
Yeah.
I think whatever that matchup it looks like, I think that'll tell you exactly how good of a night Bryce Miller had. Now proceed to him striking out Pasquantino 3 times, but giving up 7 runs in 4 innings or something like that. But,
sure.
It's obviously you have to deal with Bobby Witt and Michael Garcia, but Pasquantino lefties against Bryce Miller. Yeah. So
Mike Yastrzemski, Carl Isbell, Cagliano.
Carter
Jensen last night.
Yeah.
destroyed the Mariners.
Of course. I mean, Bobby Witt reached 3 times. Pretty low impact 3 times, but yeah. So we'll see how it goes for him. But you just kind of have to, close your eyes, spin around 3 times, and throw the dart and see where it lands, and hopefully it doesn't land in the bullpen's arm. So we'll see what Bryce can do. But I'm a little more optimistic than I was, 2 weeks ago. But not much, not much.
Sure.
But,
sure.
Yeah. The offense just go to work early, and that way we don't have to worry about it. Well, you still have to worry about it, but, especially
watch
if you're
your words. Yeah. No, yes. I'm going to be very stressed out for the next day and a half here, assuming that they get all these games played and on time. Yeah. All right. That's going to do it for our show. Thank you so much for joining us here on the Locked On Mariners podcast. For Colby Patnode, I'm Titan Gonzalez. Be sure to give us a follow on Twitter at @LO_Mariners. You can follow me at Titan Gonzalez and Colby at CPAT11. That's CPAT11. We're also on Blue Sky. You can follow me at TDG, Colby at MLB Colby, and the show at Locked On Mariners. You can also find us on Instagram at Locked On Mariners. Have yourself a beautiful baseball day, and we'll see you next time. Peace.